Welcome to another developer update. My name is Jeff from the Overwatch team. We want to take a quick second to sort of recap what an amazing year it's been. Obviously, in May of this year, we launched Overwatch, and we were so lucky and grateful to have so many of you folks along for the ride with us there. And then it was like immediately off to the races. We started updating the game. We put in a completely revamped competitive mode where we took all the feedback from the beta and started season one sort of fresh, completely new changes to competitive mode. Seemed really well received. Of course, we iterated heavily on competitive mode from season 1 to season 2, and then we made those slight skill rating tweaks going into season 3 and adjusted how placements work. So that was a lot of fun for us. You guys were primary in the feedback and helping guiding the decisions that we were making. We also had a lot of fun introducing new heroes. So Ana was fantastic. Sombra coming online was really cool. It's really interesting watching you guys play Ana and Sombra. So I see a lot of similarities. Early on, there was a perception of Ana being kind of weak and not getting a lot of play time. I think it was taking people a little while to master her. We made a few small tweaks to her balance, and next thing you know, she was sort of overpowered. Now we're balancing her down. The reason a lot of people are asking about Sombra changes, the reason we're being so slow with Sombra changes is because we think there's that mastery curve happening again. We're starting to see a lot of high-level, high-quality Sombra play. That's not to say that we think she's perfectly balanced right now. We have ideas if we need to bump her up, what we would do, but we're just being slow and patient so we don't have, Ana version 2.0 all over again with Sombra. We also introduced some new maps to the game. Eichenwald was announced at Gamescom. We've seen amazing, unique play on that map. There was a great play by the South Korean team in the Overwatch World Cup where they went up through the window with a Zarya and did a graviton surge, and the whole team coordinated, pushed right through and pushed through on attack. That was pretty amazing. So Eichenwald enabled that. We introduced the arcade, which had Eco Point Antarctica and a bunch of new game modes for you guys to experiment and play with. So all in all, it was a really amazing year. We ran our seasonal events, which we think you enjoyed, the summer games, Overwatch Halloween Terror. Now we're in Winter Wonderland. We hope you've had as much fun playing these events as we did making them. We poured all of our love and care and passion into these events and the content and the brawls. So we hope you not only had fun, but are having fun with the events. And we like to do more. So looking forward to the new year, there's a lot of stuff coming, and I wanted to touch on some of that so you guys knew, early in next year, what's on the horizon. So there's immediately, we've already talked about Oasis. Oasis has been on the PTR. We've been getting feedback, and we've told you since BlizzCon, our goal is a very early 2017 release for Oasis, and we're looking on track for that. So look for that early in the new year. It should be a ton of fun. I mentioned seasonal events. These are one of the things that not only have you guys responded to in an extremely positive way, but the team loves working on, and we're having a ton of fun making seasonal events. So we have some cool ideas for, I think, some events you might guess that might be coming, and some events that I don't think you have any ideas that we're working on. So there will be some surprises there as well. There's other stuff going on. I know there's a lot of small things that people would be interested to know that we're working on as well. So a great example is customization to your communication wheel. So this is the wheel where you press and hold the button and you get to select things like hello, thank you, or show your ultimate status. We're actually adding a control scheme to it that allows you to not only access additional voice lines, up to 4 you can have set on the wheel. It will also allow you to access up to 4 different emotes as well. So if you've been unlocking voice lines and emotes and always wanted to, play one after the other, you'll soon have the ability to do that and customize which ones you have. You'll also be able to use custom bindings to, set a particular button to trigger, a particular voice line or emote. Likewise, for sprays, we'll also be adding the ability to have a spray wheel come up that you can have up to 4 sprays. Now, you can still only have 1 spray out in the environment at a time, but if you've ever had multiple sprays and want to use different ones based on different occasions, you'll now be able to do that with the spray wheel. And we think, by adding this customization that you'll have access to, even though it's kind of a small thing, it will make a lot of voice line sprays and emotes feel even more valuable to you. I don't know about you guys, but I tend to have my favorite spray on a hero, and once I have that locked in, I'm not as excited about future sprays, but I think about the world where I care about 4 sprays, and it becomes, more interesting to me. We have, other minor upgrades coming early next year. For example, we get a lot of comments about players wanting us to force party members into team chat instead of party chat. Now, we don't want to forcibly move anybody from party chat into team chat, but we want to strongly encourage players who are partied up to join team chat instead of staying in their party chat. So we have a button that's very similar to the Stay as Group button that we added recently that will strongly encourage members when they join a team and there are people in team chat to join the team voice chat. So you don't always need to type in, team chat at the beginning of every competitive match. So we've got that coming. We're working on multiple new heroes. I always like to give the disclaimer that we tend to work on more content than we release because we prototype stuff and sometimes it fails or we don't like it or we want to go back to the drawing board. I sometimes use Genji as an example. Genji was a hero that we started almost 1.5 years before we released him. We would work on him, we'd try iterations of him, we'd put him on the shelf for a while because he wasn't working out, and then we'd come back to him. But we have one hero that I think is very promising. In fact, we've sort of started to move it through our art pipeline, which means we have a higher level of confidence in that than some of our other heroes. But we have some really fun prototypes also. So I hope those see the light of day in 2017 and you guys get to get your hands on them. We love making heroes. The game is all about heroes. We also have other maps beyond Oasis that we're experimenting with. And like the heroes, they're at different stages. So some are further along in the pipeline. We have one map that we have a pretty good level of confidence in. That is a traditional game mode. We'll talk more about that later in next year. And that one's looking good, and we're feeling pretty good about that. And then we have a bunch of experimental maps that we're having a lot of fun with. I don't know if they'll see the light of day or not, but we are trying new things with the maps, and we are trying new game modes as well. So we're always looking for things that we can try out in the arcade as a new game mode. And our thought process is, if it's really fun as a new game mode, maybe at some point we could introduce it to the core map rotation, either in quick play or in competitive play. But right now, the arcade really affords us that opportunity to experiment and feel really good about trying new stuff out without damaging the core competitive game or quick play. We also are planning to get to some improvements for esports, in particular with some of our spectator modes in the near future. In particular, we get a request often to have a map associated with viewing. So if you're watching a tournament or something like that, there's a viewer map. We've gotten tremendous feedback from our professional broadcast community. They've been amazing. All these guys who are covering the pro tournaments and the observers who are covering the pro tournaments have been sending us lists, and we've been curating those. So we hope to get to some of those features in the new year as well. The last new thing that we're working on that we mentioned at BlizzCon, but I'm not sure everybody sort of followed the news, is we want to give you a way to find custom games. So right now, we have a lot of great functionality in the custom game feature, but not everybody knows that you're running a custom game. You have to invite either friends or invite people by battle tag. And we're working on what is called the server browser, which is a way for people to see a big list of custom games, and a way for you as a player who's running a custom game to say, hey, I want this one to be public, and if more people want to join like this rule set that I've set up, or I want to set up a certain map rotation, please come and join my custom game, and they can do that through the server browser. So it's been a top requested feature and one that is very common to first-person shooter games, and we're really excited to introduce one to Overwatch. We think we'll have a very solid version 1.0 up and running, hopefully early in 2017, and then we have plans to expand upon it later in the year. So the first version you get will have a certain feature set, and then we have sort of big plans for what the future could provide for it. So that's kind of a small glimpse. I know that there was a lot there and some of it was kind of vague, but at least that's a small glimpse into, how 2016 went and how 2017 is shaping up. There's a lot beyond that. We're going to be doing these developer updates, well into 2017 as well. So we look forward to having more of these conversations with you. But more than anything, from everybody here at Blizzard and everybody on the Overwatch team, we want to thank you for what an awesome year 2016 has been for the Overwatch community, for all of us together. And on behalf of all of us on the Overwatch team and at Blizzard, we want to wish you and your family a very warm and special holiday season. And thank you for everything you guys have done for us. We appreciate it.